Hi everybody, welcome back to Petite Reef Boutique. Today I'm showing you how to make this fox floral fall wreath. If you're new to my channel, please hit the subscribe and like button. Let's get started going over the supplies we need. A 14-inch grapevine wreath base. These gorgeous blue glitter leaves, I'm obsessed, I love those. These burnt orange berry picks, leaves, maple leaves in this kind of natural brown, orange, beige tones. These picks, all the colors kind of come together with this blue, burnt orange, beige, blue berry picks, and the ribbon, what will be in the center, a gold glitter, orange, and blue glitter. Let's go over the tools. Sharp scissors for the ribbon, wire cutters, hot glue gun, a jute cord for the back of the wreath, what will be a hanger, and a floral ribbon to have a base for this beautiful bow we will create. I put it in between the dowels for the bow maker, and we will start making the bow. Look at this beautiful gold. It's like subtle, it's not overwhelming, but it's glitter, and a little bit glitter makes everything better. So I thought it was a gorgeous pick for this wreath. So cutting off the beginning when the roll is new, measuring out 6-inch tail and gather at the 0 mark with your fingers, meaning you walk your fingers up, hold it tightly, and put it in between the dowels. After that, measuring out 5-inch, I had 5-inch tails for this one. Again, give it a little twist, put it in between the dowels, keep your finger at the 5-inch mark again. Repeat the step, gather between the dowels, and repeat this step with 4.5 inches to create that dome bow. Again, gather, twist, put on the bow maker in between the dowels. And the reason for the twist is so we always have the beautiful side of the ribbon facing up. After 2 loops on each side, 5-inch and 4.5-inch, we cut it at 6 inches to have it. And there he is. My cat found his space on my work mat. I don't know if you saw him peeking, but he was trying to find his spot. So let's continue making our bow. Next one is the orange one. And I made a 5.5-inch tail. Same method. You ruffle it in the middle, you put it in between the dowels, and then you create your loop. As pretty as this ribbon is, it was a little bit harder to work with. It's a little bit like it didn't want to form and stay as much as I wanted it. It required a little bit of extra stretching and pushing and folding, but at the end, it all worked out. Four-inch loop on each side to create the loops, and the next one is 3.5 inches to create the next set of loop each side, ruffle in the middle, little twist in between the dowels on the bow maker, and then on the other side. Now it kind of makes more sense about me talking about working a little bit more with this ribbon. So ruffle again in between the dowels, and on the other side another tail with 5.5 inches. And I'm going down this half inches in the tail and half inches in the loop every time to create this dome effect and have layers of ribbon showing. And the next ribbon is this gorgeous blue glitter one. And again, I just cut off the beginning since it was like folded in. Now we are at a 5-inch tail. The hand goes over. We are holding our fingers down at the 3-inch mark. And this time we are creating 3 inches of loops on each side, meaning 2 3 inches on the left side, 2 3 inches on the right side, and then we downsize to 2.5 inches 2 times on each side as well, and then a 2-inch button to make this all come together. And once you did it a couple times, it is a really easy process. Honestly, it was harder to slow down for the video and making it in a speed that you could follow easier. So once you created more and more bows, the easier it is and the faster you are done with this whole process. I promise. And now it comes to the button, 2 inches. And as you can see, no twisting, just staying on there. And then it cut at 5 inches for the tail. And yes, we have two tails on one side now, but we can fix it. We can bend the tail towards where we want it to be. To gather it, you take the floral wire, what was laying on the bottom, push it down as much as you can to make sure all these beautiful loops we created are not falling apart. And then there's the button. I like to put it in between my fingers. And then give it a good twist in the back to secure this beautiful ribbon. So let's work on the grapevine wreath now so we can attach this beautiful ribbon we just created to the wreath frame. And of course our floral picks. So what I do, I take the wire cutters and go around the wreath base to cut off all these little pieces. You sometimes find little leaves in there, like dry leaves. We want to get rid of those too. These grapevine pieces, which are not secured all the way, you want to have a sturdy base to put your floral picks in there to have as much stability as you can have for your work. Next up is preparing the leaf picks and the berries and all of our beautiful floral. So for the maple leaves, some leaves were just like single leaves. Then when I could, I left longer stems together and I ended up using 2/3 of one pick. For this floral pick with the berries and different colors, the blue and the orange, I just ripped them out of the main stem. So the wire cutter wasn't necessary. The blueberries, they were giving me a run for my money, I can tell you that. So they come in like a little bush. I opened it up and then the pigs were stick together. And as you can see, I touched it and then the little blue berry pigs came off. I mean, I'm very happy it happened to me and not to my customer. But I was like, I will test it. And yeah, I had to put back on every single one of these little blue berries. But as you can see, it's not fixable. It's not fixable, but it's just a lot of work, like a little dip of hot glue, and then you push it back onto the stem. So yeah, just a little bit of extra work, I guess. We are done with all the preparations, and now it's time to work on our grapevine wreath. So let's start with attaching the bow. So it's as simple as it looks. So we have the floral wire left, and then we just find a spot where we would like to have it on the grapevine base. I like to attach it on these main stems. You push through the grapevine, give it a couple twists, cut off the excessive wire, and bend it over so you don't poke yourself in the finger with that wire. And then we start attaching the leaves. I chose these single big leaves right around the bow, and you give it like an inch of space because later on we will open up the bow and you will have something to fill that gap. You want to give the bow a little bit of space. So now that the smaller single leaf picks are in, we can attach the longer leaf pick. To secure this long pick, we have it glued in, but I also like to use a floral wire for that matter. I cut a piece off and make a U shape and then just poke both ends through the grapevine. So the U shape stays on the top and you have both ends at the back. You can twist those ends together. Once you think it's secure enough, you cut off the excessive floral wire and then just twist it, this little excessive piece, and hide it into the grapevine so everything is secure. And what we did for the top, we also do for the bottom now. I did had a little shorter pick for this. I wanted the bow to be around 7 and 8 o'clock. So most of the picks, the floral picks, would be on the top and not on the bottom. And next you just attach more and more leaves, filling up the gaps. After finishing attaching all those leaves, we are ready to attach those blueberries. to make this whole thing come together. So I left the stems as long as I could, and if the moment you attach those berry picks, make sure you lift up the leaves you just attached to get the berry pick into the grapevine. We want to make sure it's secure in our base. And I made kind of 2/3 on the top and 1/3 at the bottom, since the bow is between 7 and 8 o'clock, to make it cohesive. It would have been too much to have the same amount of berries on the bottom than on the top. Now it's time for these gorgeous, gorgeous blue glitter leaves. I cut them down to the single leaf since the stem was too long for that small wreath. And the leaves are kind of in a decent size. So as you can see, they're kind of peeking out. You cannot see the whole leaf in the wreath, but I think it's enough to give it a very nice accent and to break down this whole beige orange color going on. And I am really obsessed with those. They are very pretty, in my opinion. It is a little bit different. It's not what you typically associate with fall, this navy blue, but I think it's matching just fine and it looks very pretty. Let's attach those cute pigs with the blue and the berries and a little bit of beige and that burnt orange. So kind of like all these colors come together. And as I mentioned before, one pig at the bottom, two pigs at the top. The little orange berry pigs are missing, so let's place those into the wreath as well. It's time to create a little hook, and I like to put on my business card on the back. So I take a jute cord and attach the card as well as the hook. Now it's time for the final step. Let's take care of this beautiful bow. I did not want to have ducktails, so I cut the tails in an angle. So you just cut out a little triangle. We are taking care of the loops of our beautiful bow now. For that, you put your hand or your fingers in between the loops, like the ribbon loop, and spread your fingers a little bit to open up and give this bow a 3 dimension. So the loops are not just laying flat. And you open it up and place it however you feel like. If you don't feel like DIY, you can purchase this and other wreaths on my website. I will leave the link in the description box below. And if you're new to my channel, please hit the subscribe and like button so you get notified about new upcoming videos to create more wreaths together with me. And I hope you liked this as much as I loved making this one. I really think it screams fall, 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 even though it's not those typical fall colors. So thanks for watching. See you next time.